guys? We are back. It's your boy BLKFinesse. We are here to see what all the hype is about with Maximum Football. Okay, according to ericrayweather, Maximum Football 23 is looking really good. I'm not gonna believe the hype until I play it. I don't know if it's available. I don't know when it's supposed to release or be available for download, but y'all know I'm gonna go try it out. But I still don't think it's gonna be worth the hype. Prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. Here we go.
Maximum Football 23 is the latest simulation football game that's going to be on the market in a few months, and we've been covering it quite a bit on this channel over the past year, and as we get closer to release, we're learning more and more about the game. Today, we're going to be going over a ton of information.
It looks like college ball.
Releasing over the last couple of weeks. We've got a lot of new visuals for the game. We've got some new gameplay footage as well,
looks
and a
like
bunch
college
of
ball
updates that they have put out on Twitter that we need to know about for the game. For those of you that aren't familiar with this game, it is a simulation game. It is non-licensed, meaning no NFL or NCAA teams, but it's going to have a ton of customization options so that you can create.
We're going to stop it right here. So it's giving backyard football customization vibes, or NFL Street with Madden 13 animations or Madden 16. I'll give it Madden 16. The way these people are looking catching the ball, it's like it's reversing back to like maybe 8 years ago. I don't know. Like I like it. I like the idea of customizing certain things, but I think what I'm gonna pretty much like the most is being able to make my own plays, just to confuse people. Like it's so many plays I got in my head that I can probably run and practice. Like I'll spend most of my time practicing before I play anybody on this game. But the way the animation looks is like you have to adjust to the animations. If Madden 24 doesn't come through, I don't know, man.
Those teams if you want to, but the biggest thing about it is it's on the Unreal Engine 5 and it's going to be free to play. I also want to reiterate for the people that aren't familiar with what type of game this is, it's not quite an indie game, but it's also not a AAA game, meaning it's not going to graphically look as good as Madden. It doesn't have that kind of budget. It's not going to have all of the animations that Madden has. It's not going to be on that level, but what this game is going to deliver is a free to play alternative that's going to have a great offline experience and even an online experience. It's going to have a ton of customization options, and it's going to have a really good dynasty mode, which is what a lot of hardcore football fans want. So let's dive into some of the new information that we've gotten about this game. Today they released a new clip of a running animation, and they said some community feedback we've been working with the most is tuning our running animations. Gathering feet from standing position, transitioning momentum, and hitting full stride are all components being adjusted to
like
get them feeling just right. Here's a quick look at one of those animations that's been improved but still has tuning to undergo. Now the running animations was something I definitely saw in my comment section. People were saying that the running still didn't look good, and people even say that about Madden games as well. It's kind of one of those things that's a little hard to get real life accurate, but they've taken the feedback and it looks like they've definitely improved the running animations from some of the other gameplay clips that we've seen, so that's good to see that they're still working, as the game still has a few more months before early access releases. We also recently got some more information about what they're doing with catching, and I really like this. It says we are getting some really cool dive catches and user swats triggering on offense and on defense in Maximum Football. You can press Y for a swat attempt and hold Y for a catch attempt. If you time it correctly, you receive a huge boost to the catch success chances. If you time it early, you will perform a dive catch attempt, which will take you out of the play, similar to how it worked in some of our favorite games from the past. I absolutely love this, and it's something that I've been asking EA to do in Madden for years, and for some reason they just have not completely brought this back.
The trailer.
It is somewhat that way on defense in Madden, where if you're too early or too late, you won't really get the interception animation at the right time. But on the offensive side of the ball, it's still not really the case for the most part. You can be early or late, and it doesn't really too much affect your catch chances. And I think this is a great feature for a football game. You should have to time your catching. It makes it more realistic, and it really puts you in the game more and makes it feel like what you're doing matters. So kudos to Maximum Football for implementing this. This is, in my opinion, a really small but really great addition. Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Dynasty Mode. They've put out some more information about this lately, and this is one of the bigger things about the game that people are excited about. It says here, one of our main features in Maximum Football is Dynasty. Creating a mode that you can manage, coach, recruit, play, and forge a college dynasty is one of our driving forces at the studio. So it's going to be more of a college style game versus NFL, but again, if you want to create NFL teams with the customization that they're going to have in this game, you can do that. If you want to create college teams, you can do that, but out of the gate, they're going to have like hundreds of just generic teams that you can alter and switch to your liking You could keep some of them. You could change all of them. You can see some of the teams here in this little gameplay clip that's popping up, like just some of the examples that they have. So it's going to be more, I think, leaning college style of a game. I do think they're going to have a rule set where you can play by NFL rules if you want to. That's how the old maximum football was. But I think they're kind of approaching it more from a college standpoint when you look at the dynasty mode, the atmosphere type stuff. It's going to lean a little bit more to that side. Now here I also took a screenshot of that video, and you can see some of the other game modes. Obviously you got the dynasty as we know, but you can just play a regular season mode, which should be expected in a football game. They have a skills trainer, they have a practice and drills, so that's good. They're not really skimping on that stuff. I'm curious if they're gonna have drills or skills similar to like what Madden's doing with mini games and mini camp being back. I wonder if it's gonna be that way, if it's gonna just be more of just kind of a basic skills trainer. But either way, it's good to see that those options are there. You can play online and you can play now, and I think as time goes on they're gonna build this out, because they did also mention co-op online coming at some point as well, so that's really good to know. Here you can see the UI for the dynasty mode, which looks pretty solid. We have, you know, some statistics, of course, some things we would need to know. We've got an improved players section where we can upgrade our players. You got stats and rewards. You're gonna have rankings, which is a big deal for a college style game, which is again why I say I think it's leaning more college. You've got your schedule stuff. You even got a social media feed, which for a game that is not like a AAA game, it's nice to see that they're even doing little things like that. Up at the top you can also see there's a tab that says my college, so you can probably dive more into maybe like customization there. You've got my coach, so you can dive into that, maybe customize your coach and different schemes and stuff like that. And then you also have a recruiting tab, and that's one of the big things that a lot of people really like about dynasty modes in like NCAA games is the recruiting aspect of it and scouting. And in Madden, that's an area that people still feel like is lacking compared to some of the NCAA games. So I'm curious to see how Maximum Football is going to approach it. We did get a screenshot that they posted of recruiting. Doesn't tell us a whole bunch yet, but it does look pretty solid. You can see that up at the top you have a budget. You've also got prestige points and things like that. And if you look on the right hand side of the screen, underneath all of the player statistics, you can see a little icon that is the prestige points, and it says 50. And what they said on Twitter was you can unlock a third of the player's attributes and things you want to know about him at a time. So if it was sticking with what this screenshot said here, it would take 150 prestige points to fully scout that player. Now we don't know how you're going to earn prestige points. I'm sure it's going to be multiple different ways that you can earn that, but that's kind of a base
keeping
of
the
how
original
you're going to
helmets
unlock
like
stuff
Zenith
about
and
these
stuff.
players. Now in terms of recruiting and what you can do there, we haven't really seen that yet. We've seen scouting, but recruiting is probably going to have a bunch of different ways that you can try to convince them to come to your school, different perks, maybe NIL money. We'll see how deep they go with it, but so far the stuff they've shown, in my opinion, looks really good. Now we're going to look at some new screenshots that they have been showing lately, and I feel like every time they post more clips and screenshots, the graphics look like they're improving slightly. Obviously they're still polishing and fine-tuning things with the game, so it's not quite done yet, both with gameplay clips and even some of the visual screenshots we're seeing. But I really don't think the graphics are bad, and a lot of people are pushing back on the game because of graphics, but you have to realize, again, this isn't AAA, this isn't going to look like Madden or NBA 2K, but I really don't think the graphics look that bad. I feel like they look solid. If everything else about the game is good, the graphics to me are not something I'm going to nitpick. You can see here that they even have transparent visors. You can see we've got updated equipment. You can see that they've even got Adidas cleats, Adidas gloves in the game. This isn't generic stuff. So
okay, so they put gloves in there too? They put the brand in there.
Developers even said you're going to be able to adjust the pant length on players, which again, that's something you can't even do in Madden. Now, I believe that is kind of an NFL restriction because technically they have to follow uniform rules and you're not supposed to wear pants above the knee in the NFL, but players obviously do it all the time. They likely get fined for it. I'm sure they just pay it, but because this game isn't tied to the NFL, that also lets them do things that Madden can't do, like adjust certain things with equipment, get crazier with the equipment than the NFL would allow them to do. They can have things like helmets popping off, which the NFL won't allow in game. They can have things like player holdouts or stadiums being empty if the team's performing bad. Also things Madden can't do because the NFL restricts. So that's another thing about this game that I think is actually really interesting. But as we're going through clips here, again, you're seeing licensed equipment, Adidas gloves, cleats. You're seeing some of the little details in the stadium in the background. You got the water cooler.
Look at the gold on that, bro. Yeah, see. I think the graphics themselves are fine. It's just the animations. Like I said, it gives like if you were a part of my generation, it gives like the backyard football or NFL Street kind of customization, and then Madden 16 animations. If they improve a little bit more, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do too much because, I mean, they're really just starting from scratch. You feel me? So I understand. So now with the brand name helmets and the gloves and cleats, that might get them the money. You feel me? That's actually very dope how they're able to do that too. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to want to rock the visors. You will rarely see people not rock visors. But the customization is the biggest part I like about this game, for real.
And all that good stuff. It's not super generic by any means. Again, might not look like a 2023 Madden game, but it also doesn't look like a PS2 game either. This looks like a game that could have been on a generation or two ago, but actually has more details than some of those games even had in certain aspects.
Facts.
So I'm actually really excited with what they're doing. They're on Unreal Engine 5. It's free to play, so there's no risk in trying the game out. And it sounds like they're listening to the community and implementing things on the fly before the game even comes out. So I do think this game is going to be nice out the gate, and I think in a few years, who really knows where it can go. I think it can go to big places if it gets the support that it needs. Now, if you want to know even more about Maximum,
that's fair. That's fair. I respect it. That's fair. Maximum Football, come through. You feel me? I think the only thing, in my opinion, that you might just need to work on is just the running animations. That's it. All I've really seen about the physics is just the running. Catching, it's okay, it's fine. Blocking, it looks cool. Throwing, it looks cool. It's just the way they run and the way they juke and spin. Like, just the regular running physics, change that. That's it. Everything else looks amazing. Like, the fact that you're able to put cleats, brand name cleats like Adidas and stuff, it really just depends on how much you can afford. I've only seen Adidas. Zenith helmets, I've only seen that too. If they're only able to afford that, cool. Just start off with what you got. Go crazy. Like, if you're gonna allow us to customize, go all the way with it. You feel me? Because I'm not sure if there's gonna be really a meta, considering that Maximum Football has not been played yet. So the ability to be able to look at any plays that you can transfer, create. We talking motion, drags, trick plays and stuff like that. How deep are you going to be able to go to allow us to create plays? Because there was this one game back in the previous Xbox 360, right? It was called Avatar Football, when you're able to use your own avatar and actually be able to create like plays and stuff. Now the difference with that is, like, everyone literally looked the same. They looked like your character. So I had like a ninja, and my whole team was ninjas, right? And I had my whole high school playbook, and we ran triple option. I'm going too off traffic with this, but the point is, we was able to create plays, and I was just cooking everybody with the amount of plays I was just like creating stuff. So if they can do that, you got my thumbs up. You feel me? Comment down below what you think. You know, how far you think they're gonna be able to go. You feel me? It's your boy BLKFinesse. We out, man.